why do you believe that the word day, yom, is 24 hours and not a long period of time?
Well, first of all, I've got here a copy of what's considered one of the most up-to-date and respected Hebrew and Aramaic lexicons of the Old Testament by Kohler and Baumgartner, which I'm sure Dr. Kaiser is familiar with.
Yep.
And when I look up the word day in there, it actually has down there, day of 24 hours, actually has that as a heading. First example is given as Genesis 1:5. In other words, the first day right down there of creation. So, I mean, these guys are Hebraists, and I think they do very well at defining terms properly. Also, if you look on Brown Driver Briggs, which is also a well-respected lexicon, I have the photocopies here of that too. The example of the days being ordinary days as defined by evening and morning and so on, they list all the days of creation in there in Genesis 1. So if I go by, the respected lexicons of people who really understand the Hebrew here, and these are lexicons used in colleges all across this nation, then the days of creation in Genesis are ordinary days. And, I would say there's a number of reasons for that. And by the way, if I can just comment on Dr. Kaiser's comment there about the Church Fathers, we've done a lot of research on the Church Fathers. Actually, the major view of the Church Fathers, of those who commented on Genesis, is 6 ordinary days. And in fact, even Augustine talked about in an instant, creation in an instant, rather than over a period of time. And even he talked about from from looking at the creation of humans, that the universe, the earth, humans are only here for about 6,000 years. In fact, it's only those of the Alexandrian school that you find really were allegorizing Genesis. Most of the others who commented on it specifically were talking about 6 days. And I've got all those quotes here if you want to see them. We could be talking about all sorts of people here.
Yeah,
for instance,
that's good. Let's throw it back to Kaiser here, and let's talk about Brown Driver Briggs and some of these folks. What do you say to that?
My answer is that God had not yet created a 24-hour day. So too bad for Brown Driver Briggs and too bad for Kohler Baumgartner, because it specifically says, if we're going to stick with the Bible, God created days on the 4th day. So we got 3 of these yoms, which are not of the 24-hour. Augustine had 4 different views with regard to the day, and he ended up by saying, look, I really don't know. He said, I think an instantaneous is what I prefer, but nevertheless, he goes back and forth specifically because of the biblical data, which I think has a day 1, 2, and 3, where it's using evening and morning, of course, but that needs to be interpreted according to the context.
Actually, if I can comment there, Augustine wrote a book called Retractions at the end of his life, and talking about the fact that he's fallible and doesn't know everything. And one of the books he commented on that he wasn't sure what he believed about was Genesis. But, I don't believe we should use Augustine there as an authority. But if we look at 18 centuries of biblical scholarship, and if you start talking about Calvin and Luther as well, and Wesley, these guys all believed in 6 literal days, and the earth and the universe, in fact, is only thousands of years old. In fact, they talk about 5,000, 6,000 years old. And one of the things that, I think we should look at here, we should look at, what the context says. That's what Dr. Kaiser said earlier. It's